Okay, so you're going to get this one, I'm sure, before the other one, because the other one is so slow on the download. I can't even believe it. So I'll kind of do like a little recap on this one. Um, so when I got up this morning, I had seen Allison Coe had put on a download for last night, I think. And so I started watching it this morning, and it was like, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes in, I was like, I had so many puzzle pieces going together that was like I had to stop and record. And so I did a long one. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes, and so it's going super super slow. And so then I went back to watch the show, and like right now it's like 5:53, almost 5:55. So I went, I finished downloading. So you can tell how long I've been up then, because it was 2 hours and 18 minutes, and I didn't record the second I got up either, because I had already started watching the show. So, and now I've been recording it. I went and finished the show, and now I came back to record because I am just blown away. There was so much confirmation for me in this. And you know what's trippy too? Is I kept having all these tarot things that kept popping up and popping up and popping up. And they kept saying I was going to get confirmation from outside of me. Somebody outside of me was going to give me confirmation to stuff I knew inside of me. And so, you know, and I didn't know what it was. You know, I always know what I'm hoping it is. But, you know, you can't rush things that... you gotta let things play out. You gotta let things happen in a natural progression. And so, but that's something that you learn as a soul. You learn it. Like, I have things I can draw back on. Like, I know it. I experienced it. Like, I'm telling you. So, anyways, the her to post that, and she doesn't post all the time. But so this lady's session gave me so fucking much confirmation. Oh my gosh, so much. I would tell anybody to go and listen to it. I love listening to those sessions where the people get hypnotized and go back to these other lives, and go through the experience and talk to people and stuff. I think they're so interesting, but I know there's lots of people who don't even believe it's true and don't believe it's real. But I can't go in and listen to those and hear people say stuff that they've told me shit in my head, and hear somebody say stuff I know it's real. Like, I just know. So, you know, and to me, that's people holding themselves back, you know, because they don't want to be thought of as being silly or woo-woo or whatever, you know, so they hold themselves back. But there's so much truth out there. And this session, I couldn't believe it. And definitely she says things I've talked about, you know, and it's kind of like how... it's like what I try and get you to see or something. You just have to go in. I'm sure there'd be other people who would go watch it and they'd be just blown away of all the confirmation that they would get. But it was definitely, I was getting reading after reading. I wasn't looking for them. They would just pop up on my TikTok nonstop. Like nonstop, but I'd skip past it, and right away the next person would yell it at me too, and the next person, I'd be like, okay, what's the message? And I kept getting this same message that I had. I was going to get some sort of confirmation this weekend, and it would come, within a couple days, and it would be from outside of me, but it was going to give me a lot of clarity to my own self, like my own gifts, my own understanding, so I would see more clearly. And oh my gosh, it totally did. And one thing too is, and she talks about a lot of stuff. Like, I think go listen to it. I think it's really good. And she even talks about Jesus. She talks to Jesus. She talks to Nostradamus. Yeah, there's a lot of messages, and she, a big thing is, so she went and talked to I think there are other Lemurians or something, that her people, like, you have to go listen to the whole thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff about this connecting and stuff, and about like her soul, like, knew, like her forgetting, like there's like more to it. And but they explained to her, like, how her soul got here, how it kind of like got trapped here. And so and she wants to connect to the other people. And so what she found by connecting to them, when she was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been gone so long, and is all like sad and stuff, they're all laughing at her, and they're like, you've been gone like 5 minutes. Like, it's like if we got up after a night's sleep and we went out to the kitchen, oh my God, I'm sorry everyone, I was gone so long, because in our dreams we were just going and stuff, but we thought it was like a whole other life had happened. And so we get up in the morning and think, it's a whole nother life. And so it was like that, where it's like, you've only been there like 5 minutes. And it is something like what I was saying too, about some sort of an AI or a viewfinder or something that you can put on to experience the game. And it's kind of like you go like in a meditative state or something, and like you're just like asleep. And it's like you go in and play this game. And part of the game is to forget. That's part of the challenge. You're supposed to forget and see what you can overcome. And I talked about that before. And that, and it is something about like AI, and it was like developed so we could go in and experience. So we could go in and feel. So we could see the other side. We wanted to see the other side of things. We wanted to understand more. And so this like game became developed, but you can go into it, like you can be where you're at. Like, she's really in her place. She's still at her place, but she goes in and she puts that on, and it feels that she's in the game. Her consciousness gets into the game, and she feels like that's all there is. And then they get you stuck on this time thing, and it's weird. It's almost like they can have all these different times going because they create the time in the place, and it has nothing to do with all the thing. And so the people were telling her there's no time. Time isn't real. And you just left. You have not been gone long. But see, they get us to focus on time. But it's a part of the game. And so with these beings, because she kept being really bothered, she was really upset. She doesn't like humans. She feel like she doesn't get why they're so stupid, why they're so ignorant, why they don't see, why they don't catch on. But it's something about the desires. It's about this chasing, this like the beautiful flower, the draw and the lure. It's like something about the lure. And there's so much ego, but there's all this growth that occurs from it. Because you got to remember, when you leave, you're not the same vibration as, what you feel is here. This place is a different vibration than you are. And that's what she was talking about too, was coming from this higher vibration place and having to go into a lower vibration place. And then, but they were telling her, so when you're in there playing the game, just get into the game. You're overthinking it. You're getting upset about things that don't matter. And just, enjoy the game while you're in it. It's not like, not like she's in the game, but she's getting all angry and mad, and then she's getting divisive towards other people. So then experiences will happen to help her get to where, kind of to level her out. So even to get an injury would have been because, like I said, I was going in the wrong direction. And so you'll get an injury to pull you back, to get you to stop and think. Even when I was talking about when I was having pain, and I kept asking them, like, why do I keep having to have this pain? And they said, it's like ground you. It keeps you in the experience. It keeps your focus. And so, because I think I have a hard time staying in the game. I think, maybe, all you people who can't remember shit, you are the baddest asses, warriors, and you've got the thickest veils on, and mine barely was a bare sheath, and I can see straight through it. And You know, and I'm a real pansy ass, and I'm just trying to remind you guys, like, you know, we don't know on all these different levels, you know, so don't get caught up in any kind of judgment on each other, on yourself, on anybody. And like they said, this is a game. Enjoy the game. Have fun while you're doing it. You're learning, you're growing, you're expanding. And I know that that is the full expansion of the universe. And he also said that when the creation of the game was to give the being, the soul, the identity of self. Because, you know, she even said when they came to see her, like when she was calling them into her, they came as like a whole, like a ship of energy, a whole. But then they could separate out into individual. And see, that's the higher beings. These are the higher, like where we think, oh, they're aliens, they're monsters, I'm so scared. No, these are like, these are advanced, like super souls. And so, they could go out and become individual. But she said that is what the game is about, is so that you could go in and understand who you were as an individual. Because when we're in like the soul form, we're so much all together, like we're all together. And so it's like, yeah, but I'm different and I'm different, you know. So you're trying to understand yourself in like every soul, every cell of the universe as its own individual. And see, that's what I'm saying, is it's what's happening right now in this evolution is it's like you're keeping your self-identity, and it's like a creation of a self that you're keeping to move forward. Like you created like that. That's why I kept saying, like, they want to get people to create a different avatar. Like, I can't even believe, like, the people with the filters too. Like right now, it's like insane. People who were not using filters just now are filter faces. They're all fucking lip syncing, shaking that ass. It's just like, oh my God. But this is the shit that's got to be purged out, like these parts of themselves. And I don't know what the drive is. Like, honestly, I have no idea what is driving this insanity. But it's like on steroids. It's crazy. And maybe that's because that's the only videos they can get views on. And, you know, and they desperately want to keep their accounts going or something. You know, everything is different for every single person. Every single possibility is being played out. So it's pointless to try and, you know, why is this and why is that and stuff. And that's what those guys were saying too. Don't overthink it. Just enjoy, go through. And that's what I keep saying is, like, you need to stay focused on being present in your experience, because that is your game. And you have tools, and you can ask for more tools. And you have a cheering squad. You have a group with you. And it's like people who were in the game who like messed up and they got this far. And so they're there trying to cheer you on and get you to go over that and pass out. Like, you have a group there that is, you know, you're never alone. But you, and you're not far off. But they also said that, you know, and they gave her an exact date. But Allison was like, I'm not sharing this date. That got her taken down before, where people like ready to murder her over a date that came and went. So yeah, I totally get it. But we know we're close, you know, and we're not supposed to know the exact date, the exact time. You know, I mean, how could you live your life if you're born and the day that you're born, you know, it's on your foot, the day you're going to die? Like, what would be your focus? So, you know, we're not supposed to know all things. And so we're supposed to learn how to relax and be present, and to not, you know, keep thinking of fear. Whoa, what if, you know. And that's been a challenge to me for sure through my life. I was always, you know, especially because I can always see so far ahead. I can see patterns playing out. I can see things. So, you know, but it was like that learning to not control, you know, because I think there's nothing wrong with what if, but it's learning to mind the manner, not to get caught up, not to panic, not to go into fear, to know everything's fine. You're where you're supposed to be. Everything's playing exactly the way it's supposed to play. So, all those things. But so this guy said, you know, I mean, we're close. Whatever's going to go down, we're close. And I don't know, it still could be, it's so hard to know because there's like a bunch of shit that's got to go on. But they said that way more water is coming into the planet. But that is for a good thing. That is like how we're going back to going into harmony with the planet. We need the water's important. The way that we've got less water, things drying up and stuff, is showing the corrosion of where we are. It's representative of where we are. We're going back to a time of abundance, of growth, of fertility. And so there will be so much water. So when we look at it, we're like, oh my God, the water's going to change. I'm so scared. Go into harmony through your soul. Of the planet is in the flow of change. We're changing into this time of harmony, and the water is going to be like, because we're in harmony with it, we're in communication, we're in love with it, and it's in love with us. It's going to be different looking. It's going to be a cleanness, a crispness. I think we would be able to whisper a message into it, and it would carry a message to somebody, which I've tried before. I'm curious to see if they've received it. So anyways, we'll see. But anyways, that they said that when this goes down, there's going to be a shit ton of people that are going to leave all at once. And they said it's going to be a lot of people just like her who just want to go home now. They're just tired of the fucking game. They just want to go back to where they're from. And their soul is screaming out. They just want to go home. And so a ton of them are going to just like disappear and go home. And then there's going to be a ton that they said are going to leave dramatically, that are going to be like it's a part of the show, it's a part of the game. And that's what I was saying, it's a part of the thing. So when you're seeing all this horrendous shit go down, just remember, these are parts people are playing out. This is a part of a show. You're in the middle of a movie. And so keep that in mind, because otherwise it will eat you up, and you got to learn how to control yourself. It's like control yourself. Like you went into, as a soul, you go into this experience and you're in they dropped you down into, what is that called? The dinosaurs, they've made like 17 of them. And they did the DNA and they brought them back, and then they made the island, and there's all those dinosaurs and stuff. It is, and I swear to God, they're really doing that. But so it is, okay, I gotta think why I was seeing that, or where was the connection? Maybe y'all see the connection and I've lost it. I wonder that a lot. Like I'll be talking and I'll like stop on this and I was like, well, maybe I completed it and I was about to over talk it. So it just is like that ended and jumped to this thing, I don't know. But so the people who are here and they're going to leave in these really horrific, dramatic ways. There's tons of people, and they're all, it's the same thing. That, like what I had said, they're all just going back home. They're leaving this experience and going into another one. But the people who remain, they said something about going through the light to get to the next reality. But like I said, there's all these other ways, and that's what other people are doing. They're going other ways, but we're taking, if you're here with me and you feel driven like the age of Aquarius, what you're here for and stuff, and you're here for that we're going through the scenic route. Like we're going to go through the game. We're going to go through the experience. And then we're going to take all that we learned from this experience and we're going to take it to the new, it develops the new world. So it's the creation of the new world. So we're the creators, the seeders of the new world through the experiences. So it's important. Everything's important. So, no matter what part, whatever thing you do, nothing is more valuable or less valuable. And sometimes you may be, taking a break, because you're constantly doing roles and stuff. So there can be a lot of souls that are going to come out of this extreme, intense situation that are just going to go on a break. They're not going to go and incarnate. They're not going to go into another. They're just going to go back to like a home place that is, and that can be a combined thing, like what I was talking about before. It was all stuff that I've said, where they go back to a higher self that has a whole bunch of beings out there, and then they all come back and they go to home, like these home planets, like where she said they came down and it was like a planet, like a spaceship, and then they all came out and separated, and then they just go back right into being together again. And that is and that all depends on your frequency and vibration, because for some of them then is okay, because the like you have different ones, of frequency and vibration. And so like the Pleiades or Syrian, or you have different places. And so it's not just like a spaceship. It is like that they can come out and experience. They can come out and experience and go into individual and live lives as individuals, like their individual souls. And so they can live lives like what we're about to do, what's about to go down, and what we're in the process of doing is happening to us. And so you have souls up there that can do that. But then you have, and see, it's all this frequency and vibration. It's like how far you can go, what you're capable of, what you can do and stuff. And where you're in alignment. Your alignment isn't based on like religion and stuff. It's more of like a philosophy. It's more of an understanding. It's more of a, how you see things. And so it's and it's definitely not something to divide on. That's even what I was talking about in the other one, is that as a part of the experiment on the galactic level, is everybody to come together and to quit dividing on things that don't matter. And then a part of this whole experience too is this schooling thing, but you can come in here then and you get your shit out of balance. And that's why so many souls, that they stay away, because then they don't want to come in. So the souls that are here, that's another thing. Where you're from, you're an adventurer. You are, you're an astronaut. You're a soul who would go and take a chance and take a risk. Some of the people are probably fucking absolute master players, and they probably have the darkest fucking ones on, because they know that they can remember who they are. They know that they can remember things, or they want to see what it feels like to forget. Everybody's playing all different things, like this game. So I just, when you hear people sitting back and thinking like this other soul, they're a weak ass soul. Oh, they're a new soul. Oh, they're this, they're that. It's like, you don't understand about soul stuff, I think. You got to go and look more into it, wherever that journey leads you. For me, it was reincarnation, and learning about that. Then learning more about different religions and who believed what and what they believe. Then going back and going into older kind of like not just philosophies, but is more of a Indian, Native American, not Native American, but indigenous, like the Hopi Indians, the Aztecs, what kind of things did these people believe in? Like trying to put things together and understand, about what the different beings and stuff, different groups thought along the way. And, like I was always drawn to Egypt and Atlantis. And then that girl was talking so much about that. And, and that could have been, the whole trigger thing. Like we have, we have different people who are from the places we are. And we are all from all different places. So we're all a bunch of mix, but we still have we have a basis of philosophy, a home, like a home base, like a place where our frequency, we're allowed by our frequency, but it's a comfort place to us. And so it's like our residence. And so we have, souls that are close to us in that resonance. And so it's kind of like we're here waking each other up, helping us remember different things. But you know, and in the game, see, it's like you've got to have the challenges. You've got to try and wake yourself up. And that's why I keep on saying, you got to ask yourself questions. Just keep asking yourself questions. Just keep trying to gain perspective, you know, and just keep working on trying to wake yourself up. And this is a fucking hard game, because this is so fucking mind controlled. They've got such mind control over people, and there's just such a force to reckon with the energy of you know, the control of containing. But it's beyond just containing us in the physical, as they contain us in the mental. And so you got to you know, allow yourself to be thought crazy, allow yourself to go crazy, allow yourself to look for the hidden truth, and to remember who you are. Because, you know, I mean, from where you are, you're probably one of the biggest badasses. You know, it's probably why there's a lot of people waking up and being like, fuck, I'm royalty. Because it is a challenge. Like, not everybody wants to come in. I know somebody else, one of the other people I met along my journey, and she would go in these intense meditations. I was so jealous of her meditations. It was like she was fucking going to other places and shit. And she likes to write horror. And so she would question, you know, different things. And so she would go and she would talk, and she was constantly going and talking to these other beings. And she knew that she was here to go for these experiences that they were trying to understand and bring them back to them, the information, because there's a lot of beings out there that don't know how to feel certain things, because here is so full of feeling. And see, that's the benefit to the incarnators, the people, the souls that keep coming in. Even though, you know, we go through abuse after abuse after abuse, that we grow, we expand, and we become more evolved. And then these beings who have been here for so long, see, they've stagnated their evolution. They're like stuck. So as the universe is expanding and the vibrations are raising and moving, those people, they can't. It's like, it's weird. It's almost like, it's like there becomes no place for them or something. It does become like they just become like out in dark, empty space, because they're also empty. They become like a black hole or something, like a vacuum in the movement of, because when you think about, and also think about the universe as like a super highway, like the biggest intersection thing you've ever seen. That's what the whole universe is like. There's so much going on. There's so much lives and stuff, so many realities, so many things going all the time. We here think we're all there is. We're just this, you know, we're so important, but it's like a giant thing going all the time. And think of the micro macro thing about the honeycomb and reality and the spider web effect. And I thought that was interesting how she was using that too, because that is something that they show me a lot in my mind about the spider web. You know, it's like it's like this webbing. And so the, and it's, okay, because it's like a connection. And everything is this micro macro though, because at some point the vibration does hold us where we are. It is a containment, because due to the frequency outside of it and inside of it. And so that's why it's contained. And that's where we're at, is in the containment. That's why I keep saying, but your vibration is way higher than what you are in here. There's these other people who try and keep it at that vibration, but it's like they can't experience. And so it's like on some levels they definitely are trying to understand, emotion, understand feeling and stuff, but they aren't in the avatar things like we are. They came here a long time ago, and so they are more of the settlers. And so you can see why they kept that going, the colonizers. So they were colonizers here, but they have not evolved because of their they've stayed here, and like we come in and we feel emotions, we learn, we grow, we feel lost, we feel experience, we go through experience. They don't have that because they didn't come in and get into the avatar. And so, and it kind of fascinates them how we can be so beat down and still, would still send love to each other. Like there's things that they just really are fascinated in. And I think that it's kind of like the mean side of them, why they want to torture, why they want to hurt, because it's kind of like it makes them mad that we can feel and that we can be happy. Like some of these people who are being tortured by them should just spit in their face and laugh at them. Yeah, really throw them, as they depend on our they depend on our agony. They take joy from it, or they think that it gives them a feeling that they approve of. It gives them something that they like, so it gives something or something. But anyway, so that's why I was saying something different happens about their souls. I think that's even why Trump was even saying that they're shooting, they're separating the parts, and they're shooting them out. But energetically, because it's not like everything has energy, so it's not like they're soulless. Their energy is so dark. And, but it's like, so you can't stop, but it's kind of like the universe moves away from it, separates from it, which sends them back in a black hole. Kind of like the same thing what they were showing me, as you focus more on your higher self, the avatar self that you experience the game with is kind of sucked away from you. It's like, bye, it was nice knowing you, thanks for the ride, but you still keep them. And she talks more about the physical parts of yourself, reflecting what you're here to experience for yourself, what you're here to learn and grow, what you're here to experience, like to help you, learn to, like, say somebody who has, come from a certain group of people and they all have big noses. And then, if they're with their group of people, but then they always look at us like they don't like these noses. And so it's coming into acceptance of yourself. So it's all different things playing out. You get your answers inside of you. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Like, I've lived my life. Like 62 years I've been living. Well, for sure, 59. I've been living in this way, and they talk to you and they tell you. And so everybody can live like that. And, if things make sense, your life will make so much more sense. So I think it's important. Like, we'll see how important the universe thinks it is. The universe will show their hand. They'll show how important they think this is. They'll show how important this information is. They'll show why they were waking me up and turning my lights on and telling me to get in there and talk about this. Why they keep me up at 1 o'clock in the morning talking about things, making me see things and showing me things. We'll see. We'll see what they want to have people focus on, what they want people to think about, or maybe I'm just a nut. I do talk a lot to myself. I do totally, really relate to, I totally see how schizophrenic people get that rap like that. Because the more like I'm by myself, the more that I just interact with them. The more I just talk with them, and I can be talking telepathically, and then I can just start talking out loud, and then sometimes I can just go on to a rambling, complaining to them and stuff. And so you can see like how you see these people, the crazy, stupid ass motherfuckers, dumb ass bitches, like you see those crazy people. It's like they're really talking to somebody. There really is a conversation going. They just, it was drawn outside of their heads into, because I do it sometimes, I'll be talking and then I'll just start saying stuff out loud. And it seems like the stuff that gets you more upset or more emotional or something, you'll spout it out. And so I can totally get like how the people can get confused about the fracturing out. Because you have different parts of yourself. You got to pull on different parts of yourself. I can totally see how people get confused and think like there's demons talking to them because the dark energy attachments. Like, I can get where people are coming from. But, just, is this same sense of up in your game, leveling up, start changing how you play the game, and stop just, it's like playing by their rules or something. It's like playing the game they want you to play. And then you got to break free and start playing the game on your terms, how you want to play it. And then it changes the game. Their game falls apart. And and this is a natural progression. This is all supposed to happen. It's going to happen, and it is happening. And like I said, I think that a lot of these people were arrested a few years ago. I think a lot of them have already been put down. I think that the things that are being leaked out and stuff is old information and videos and stuff to get us to see, to get us to understand who these people were, and that they were, just, we were pawns in their game. We were just, subjects to their fun. So now it is, waking up to that factor. But there's so much going on. It's like you can't, it's like waking up, when you're in the middle of a sinking ship. But when the ship sinks, we're going to find ourselves on an island of bliss. So, there's like a whole process we got to go through. But it's like waking up and being like, oh, shit is going down. What do I do? And it is, very triggering to fear if you don't really have that solid spiritual background, that solid spiritual, knowing that you're fine, knowing that everything's okay. You're not going, there is no death. That's a lie. That you don't ever die. Your energy, you just continue to change forms. And your conscious energy, the unconscious energy, you're very conscious of yourself. You are a creator. You are what you consider to be a god. That is what you are. And so the limitations that they place on you are that you allow for yourself, really, because you got to forget who you are. You got to focus on some other parts of yourself. But those parts are valuable because they're the parts that you need to heal, the parts that, that have trapped you and have bound you into this realm, into this experience, that it can hold you in. And that's why so many different beings don't like to come in. They don't want to come in, because you can get in here and you can get trapped because you forget and you do dumbass shit and you get shit out of balance. And then everybody, they pass over, and then they come back and they're all on from the other side trying to fix the errors of their ways. And I bet you, legit, if we could see, if we put on some certain specs and we could see the energies around us, I bet you we've got such a fucking like coliseum of people, throughout a history of the lineage. Like we've got every, and then when you see them all behind you, and then they're all connected. They're connected to everybody else's. It's like we're all connected. The people cheering me on are connected to your people cheering. Like they're all connected. And but we forget. We come in here and we go into this game of separation, so we can try and understand what am I? What am I separate from the group? The group feels this, but what do I feel? And then we can be tricked. That's the thing, is people got tricked in here and they did stupid ass shit and they got themselves bound down. And we all done it, like fuck. I think that is a big part of so much of my first part of my life, was putting things back into balance, different experiences. And I don't know, I don't know all of the ins and outs of it. And the one guy, even when she asked one question, he goes, it's not for you to even know. It's not something for you to worry about. Like there's things that, that we start trying to get caught up on and hung up on. And, but the main thing is, I think, is to remember that you are playing a game, that you're completely safe and cozy somewhere, when you probably have some fucking viewfinder on, and you are deep in a game, and you're a very skilled player, and you're trying to learn, and when you finish the experience, which experiences are wrapping up right and left, and you zip back home, and you get up out of bed in the morning, and you go out to the breakfast table and tell your family about the intense fucking dream you had. Like, man, you guys don't even know what I did in that game. It was crazy, And they were just like, yeah, but you do that every day. Like, you just keep going in and doing these. So, he even said to the girl, he was like, when she was trying to talk to her Lemurian family or whatever, her space family, that, you get too caught up, you get too upset, you get too emotional, you got to just, let it go. You're just there playing a game. That's all it is. It's a game. And he kept trying to stress that and stress that and stress that. And I think it's important for us to all remember that, because that's something that we've all been waking up to. This is some sort of a hologram. It's some sort of a game. There's patterns that we play out. There's roles we play. It's very defined. It's destined. You can't change it. It's already set in motion. Like, there's all these things as you come into yourself, you start realizing about it. And I can see levels, I can see tools, I can see the things that the people come in your path. They give you tools for what's to come. But people who aren't paying attention, who are busy looking over there, they're missing out on the tools that are coming their direction. So they go to the next obstacle and they struggle and they get upset and they're focused and they're frustrated, and then they get all mad and they yell at the gods and they yell at the universe and they scream and yell and they want out of the game. And they said that so many people went out of the game. Just what I was saying the other day. Like, you can't just get out of the game just because you want to get out of the game. Like, we would all be tapping out every time something got hard, and it would defeat the game. You can't just tap out. You have to get through it. And so all of the things happening, though, are for you to learn, for you to grow, for you to expand. And so it's very beneficial. It's beneficial to the universe. It's beneficial to all of us. So, anyways, let me think if there was something else I want to say. I guess I could slaughter. I was such a fucking storm outside here. It's crazy. I keep on feeling like, fuck, is a tree gonna just blow down right here on us? It's insane. I don't even know how long it'll be dark, but I know it's all a part of it, these storms and stuff. But I'll tell you one good news thing real quick is I saw somebody else was showing some other map. It wasn't the doomsday map, but it was some sort of map after the water comes in and raises it and changes it. And it looked like where I'm at was going to be an island, which would make more sense because of the mountains. Like I can't fucking get out of here. Like, I'm not shitting you. Once this winter starts and they start fucking closing off the passes and shit, it's like you're in goddamn Shining. So, I don't, whatever is gonna go on, like, you can take a minute and leave, and try and get out. But then you get stuck out there and you can't get back. So then it's like, fuck. And it's only a few months, I mean, I would rather, especially if there's a certain someone I would rather, hang out, sit by the fire with, drink mushroom hot chocolate with, Oh, and I tried the bread. So I'm not madly in love with the bread maker bread, but it's definitely, I would say, it's similar to the kind of loaves you buy at the store. So I think it's made similar to that. It definitely doesn't get that nice crunchy crust. Like, the crusts are different and stuff. And but the flavor was good, and it made good toast. So it's definitely going to work for now to be able to have bread instead of buying, because there's so much bad stuff in the bread. That's why so many people get all these gluten problems and celiac and all this shit, because they put so much bad stuff in the bread. There's so much bad stuff in all of the fucking foods, the cereals, all of it. It's all full of toxins and shit. But it's all part of the challenges in the game. Everything. It's like a totally another level that people understand of game playing. And she explains some of that in the thing, in the video. But anyways, the video is Allison Coe, her channel. And she just posted it last night. And something in the title, I think, says something about Egypt. But I was getting so much confirmation. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is what I said. This is what I talked about. This is, I keep having all sorts of shit go down. And there's, like, I swear to God, there's so much shit going on. Like, this has just got to be, like, almost over. But that is going to be the thing, is what we're going to get to see is, like, we're in a game. reality. There's more to it. Like I know people are gonna be so sad over all these people leaving. Everybody's gonna be sad. I'll be sad, and it's scary. Because you think about your people in your own families, and it's like, fuck, who's leaving and who's not. None of us know. But you just got to remember, that they're just going back home. And that's the thing of why to appreciate when you're in the game is because those are your opportunities to be with those people, to hang out, to have fun. And we're always teaching each other. But one of the big lessons is the learning to love each other, learning to enjoy our time together and not be so judgmental and stuff. That's why loss is such a big thing. When somebody leaves, it's just like, oh my God. But we got to learn to get to the other side of that. So we're doing the things so when they leave that we don't feel bad. We feel like, complete. We feel lucky. We feel happy. We got such a great experience with them. So we got to get, living like that. But that's where we're going to be headed, is living in this other state of mind. It is going to be, and then plus just so many things about life are going to change, but we still have all of this transitioning, all of this movement, all of this change that is occurring in all of us. We're up in the game, we're leveling it up, and we're the players who are moving the game and taking it another direction. But there's going to be tons of players who are going to leave the game, tons and tons, and there's going to be tons that are going to leave dramatically, and there's going to be a lot of sadness, a lot of loss, a lot of fear, and it's all a part of the game. And it's all also on another level is all part of trying to provoke people to remember, to click in and start remembering who they are, and changing the game, how they play, changing, stop following the goddamn rules. That's one thing is like where you start asking yourself, like, who made these fucking rules and why would I follow them? So there's so much expansion happening. And anyways, let me think if there was something else. I haven't even been on that TikTok yet, so I don't even know. Maybe I'll come back and say something else. As this morning when I went on, I saw a couple, but I was just being blown away when I went back on and I watched the other part of the video. It was like, oh my gosh, this is so much confirmation. And I would just tell anybody to go and listen. If you're just so don't even know what to think anymore, that's where you start going out and you find different confirmations, and it will help you to concrete in how you feel, what you think. It will help you to define what you believe. It will help you, but you got to look at things. You got to it's a search for your inner truth, for who you are, what are you doing here. And so keep looking for it and asking yourself the questions, and it will keep being shown to you. They're going to keep showing it, and some people don't pay any attention. Like on those lives I saw, you just see these people just walking around just mindlessly. And that's where these people are all like NPCs and stuff like that. It's just the lower chakra. It's just, it is kind of like it has a good effect in the game because it does give these other players, it gives more action going on, but they're all playing on different levels. All the games are being played on all levels. So it's not like they aren't playing a game, they're just playing it on a different level. So, and we're all on different levels. And but to me, it kind of is like there's a lot of people here to help people learn different levels, to help people level up. And so it's a big leveling up that is happening. But anyways, the shit is close, and it's going to go down, and there's going to be a lot of people who are left, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be sad. And you got to go through the process and the experience of letting go of all of these things, letting go of all of the way we lived, the way that we, accepted, all of the things. And it's the shedding, and it's the shedding. How I see it is the shedding, and it's almost like you don't even see what's coming out. You just see the shedding, and the thing that's moving through It is like a blue, beautiful, like indigo kind of like peacock kind of color. And it is like a movement. And so that movement is going through. It's not like a snake or something, but it's a definite shedding, and kind of like that phoenix coming out of the ashes. But it's the energy, this giant movement of this energy of this completion. It's like a celebration too. But anyways, that is what we are in. We are on the ground shedding. We're the ones taking everything off, letting go. And we keep that energy moving. We are creating that energy. We're creating the spark of change. And the universe is going to feed back. It's going to fire back. And that's what I think was being said in there too, was this interaction between our energy and the sun right now while all this is going on. So everything that is going is supposed to be going. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing about death that you need to fear. Death is a created concept that they got to create fear in you, because it's not real. And so just all of the things, but you got to keep reminding yourself. You got to keep challenging yourself to think, to become more independent in your thought process and your fears and how you handle yourself. It is about becoming independent. That is the whole purpose, the whole point of this game. But this, to me, is kind of like the ascension is the graduation for the souls that could do it, that could become defined in themselves. It's like a creation of a whole new character, breaking free from the group mind, if you get what I'm saying. And we'll see, I'm sure they'll bring me some other thing over the next few days that will give me some sort of confirmation on that. But that's what it seems to me. So just, keep working on you. Don't be held back. Don't be held back by what others think. Don't be held back, like, no matter what. Even if you don't see the age of Aquarius, you can be completely developing something else, some other reality, but try and make it a positive one. Don't make it just about a fear, and don't create a black hole for these beings to go to. Stay moving in the direction of the force of nature, the blue, the light, the movement that is going. Stay in that, because like I said, it's like this giant intersection of energy going every direction. And so, it's not like you can go the wrong way. There's every way possible. And it's in everything about our movement that is about the frequency too. And a lot of higher frequency do not want to come in the lower frequency. That's like where people are like, well, if they were aliens, they would just come down here. Why? Because we chose to come down in this low frequency, then they have to come down and prove that they're real to us, so that we can feel peace when we're in a game and they're watching us. And she said even when she got out of it and she went out and she could see, she was like, oh my gosh, the things that I would be bothered by when I'm in the game, and I come out of it and I see how pointless they are, how stupid. And that was something that was a benefit for my brain injury, where I just started seeing like, oh my God, we hold on to things. Oh my God, there was just so much shedding the whole time, where I was just seeing and seeing and seeing. And the more you look, the more you see, and the more it expands, the more that opens up. It's just a constant expansion. Your world gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more you look. So anyways, I'm going to get this one on. And I would say go watch that video, especially if you've got nothing to do. And look for more things to give you more confirmation, is when you're trying to figure out, like, what are you doing here? What am I here for? What's going on here? You just keep looking for more information, because look, I feel like I get confirmation all the time. Like, I feel very much at peace. I don't feel worried or scared. I mean, like, I don't get excited when the wind's blowing and the trees are going and it's hearing things hit into my windows and shit. And then I was even getting this vision of Stella's on her bed, and I hear the trees start to come, and I jump over to cover her, and then we're found dead with a tree on top of us, and people are like, oh, look, they were laying there hugging. I was like, I wonder how often that happens, where you dive down to cover somebody, and then they look over, and then everybody's like, oh, look, they were hugging. Like, probably the other person was trying to save the other person. But we just, we live in a world of assumption. I really think we assume we think we understand people. We assume because we think we know people. Like, the amount of people who think that they know fucking Trump is crazy, and it's on both sides. I mean, the craziest is the ones, that think that they have all the reasons to hate him. But even the ones who just love him and they just are expecting him to come and save their world, it's like, dude, if you weren't doing that, then we would get a lot more faster. We would get a lot further faster. There's all these people waiting for a savior. Quit waiting for a savior. Stop waiting for a savior. You are your savior. Like, you're your savior. It's you. You're who you're waiting for. So do your work. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.